Okay, everybody, welcome to a new episode. Welcome to the new podcast. Today we have an interesting topic about digital nomads. If you're wondering what is a digital nomad, I'm here in the spot at Outpost Bali with 3 digital nomads, now including myself, and we're gonna ask them what's happening, what is a digital nomad. So let's introduce the people that we have here. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Raul. I'm from India. I'm originally from Bangalore, the south, but one day I decided something flipped and I moved to the mountains in India. Started my own business there. It's been 11 years now, and I run a travel company which organizes high altitude road trips and treks.
Yay. I'm Paulina. I'm working for now, not digitally. I'm working in Outpost, which is a digital place. It's a place for digital nomads. And but at the past years, I was a digital nomad. Who knows what the future will bring? But for now, I don't know about that. But I want to stay in one place for the next years.
So a digital non-nomad?
No. At this point, I can only tell about my past and about people surrounding me.
Yes. My name's Adrien. I'm the CEO and founder of Rocket Fitness. We're a coaching business that helps entrepreneurs achieve healthy, high performance without burning out. I spent 18 years in the corporate world working for KPMG and Deloitte on partner track, and I decided to get out of that and be part of this, what's now being called a digital nomad world, but for me it was really just an escape to run my own business, and having the flexibility of a laptop and Wi-Fi in most places where you go, without thinking about it, I find myself being called a digital nomad, even though I don't necessarily identify with it.
Great, guys. Okay, so we have an interesting group of people here, and thank you guys for agreeing to share the information with others who are seeking this information. So let's get started with, I really liked when we did the workshop yesterday and talked about what is a digital nomad in your guys' view.
Adrien, do you want to start?
So you go to the guy that doesn't identify as
That's perfect. I'm not digital.
You're the one that's all of the digital nomads.
Responsibility, not me.
Responsibility. So what is a digital nomad? So maybe I'll give you 2 sides to this. So one, what I think it is, and then one, my experience. So for me, digital nomads would be maybe a stereotypical person on a laptop sitting down that's maybe doing coding and that is in some co-working space and working as more of a freelancer. So not necessarily on their own business, but as a freelancer working for, say, on a contract or for another business. That's what my perception of digital nomad is, and very uncool as well, right? So that's where this is in my mind. Any title with the word nomad in sounds a little bit strange, right?
Why would you say that?
Well, nomad, it's like no friends, right?
No,
So nomad is someone who has no friends, and that's what a nomad is.
A nomad is technically someone.
Hey, it's my question, right?
Sorry.
This is what I think. So it's a person with no friends and a laptop. And then I suppose what digital nomads, in this context, in this great environment, digital nomads 2.0, people who maybe have been inspired through COVID, that they've seen there's a different way of working. We were all forced to work from home, and businesses and organisations saw that 90% of people still could do that and do it really well, and some of them actually doing it better because they've got control over their lives, they're not spending 2 hours in traffic every day and that kind of stuff. So what I think digital nomads represents now, which we need a better term, which is maybe digital entrepreneurs or something, is what the environment that we're in, which is people with good ideas that have got good experience and they're just trying to do it in a better way. And the means of production back in the day used to be a factory. So if you wanted to make money, you used to have a factory which used to put people in, and they would make something, and then it would be manufactured and you'd sell it, right? Now the means of production is a laptop. So it's your ideas and it's the information age. So you don't need a lot of collateral, you don't need a lot of capital to set up. And if you've got a good idea and you have a structure and you surround yourselves, and this is what I feel a lot of digital nomads don't do, they don't surround themselves in a good community and they don't build their teams fast enough. And I can speak from my own experience where I was a solopreneur for a while doing what I believe to be great. And it's only since I've sort of built a team of 8 people that I know that I should have done that a long time ago. So I think if we take away that nomadic, digital nomad part of the title, that would help people with their ideas, because you can't just do everything on your own. And if you try to, you'll end up burning out, and your physical and mental health will go down there.
Well, I'm learning in this podcast as we go. You guys have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I can share my perspective of that. So we have a lot of discussions with Outpost staff about it, especially with my friends who were working like as an operation manager that were here through changes of Outpost, and we have like this we differentiate. That's
Differentiation,
digital nomad and remote worker, because at first we had a lot of digital nomads, which would be their work would allow them to have a freedom of time, so they were choosing where to be and when to be, and that would mean that they are freelancers, they are their own their own CEO, but CEO is like from your workshop, your boss is your clients, but basically you are choosing your time. And that's why, for example, events team that I'm working in, we would do events, it doesn't matter what time, because they would always come because they can choose that. But now, after COVID, it's more remote workers. That would mean that people can work remotely, but they have 9 to 5 still, but from their country. So they are in specific time, almost they need to be in a desk and like do something with their mouse to pretend that they're there, like, or they need to be there, but they have freedom of working from somewhere else, but still needs to be in the online office in a certain hours. So for example, now with the social space in the Outpost, we need to consider these factors. So that would be my technical differences, remote worker and digital worker, and that would be also the same thing. Everyone is saying, oh, digital nomads, that's a space for digital nomads. We are thinking about the differences in Outpost space, but so that would be my perspective. From Outpost, but my personal perspective is digital nomad is, what is a nomad? Nomad is a person that is changing places all the time. It's a searcher, it's a drifter, and the nomads in the past were like they're the people, like people who are like don't have house, they're changing all the time. They don't settle like for one place, and we took the digital because you have the computer in front of you and you can take it wherever you want. You're not dirty though. You have a place to clean, and so that's the difference. But it's where the origins of the word is. So it's still happening. It's still gonna change the place. It's just the work. The work doesn't matter for what company you're doing it. You can do it from wherever you want to, because you're doing this in an online space. So that would be my definition.
So with Outpost then, what you're saying is that some people who are freelance workers or remote workers, they have to work 9 to 5, and I know it because I see they work 9 to 5, but they work in 9 to 5 on Eastern time in the US, or it's UK time, so they come in here at like 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, or at night.
Or at night. When I was here like late last night, there were people working, and you could see that on the screen where they were having a video call, the person having the video call in the background is daytime, and here it's nighttime. So it's interesting because what you're saying there is that there's potentially a different need for a freelancer to a digital nomad, because a freelancer might need to have more of a semi-permanent desk or something
Exactly, yeah.
like a mouse button to sit down, and you might, as a freelancer as well, if you're having a video conference call or you've got some stuff on your PC, you've got to be careful around security and information and things like this, because if you're having a company call and somebody puts up a spreadsheet with the financials and things like that, you probably want to be in a room or have a space which isn't in the open where everybody can see as well, I suppose. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that's why we have like this Skype booths. You can book it and for 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever, whenever.
It's like a coffee in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there, but I guess maybe you are claustrophobic. I've been there many times, and it's AC there. I like it. It's like comfortable. It's almost like a singing room.
You're going to enjoy death.
I think yeah.
Have you been in? It's tiny.
I think it's an AC there, and then it's like
They're talking about the book.
yeah,
It's
the
not a
booth.
booth there.
And it's like a soundproof, so almost like you feel like I could sing there, you can talk there, sing there. Yeah, and then I think you're big, so maybe that's why.
So here's my second question then.
Sorry, what?
What you say?
So here's a question that comes to mind now. So would you say that is the first step to becoming a digital nomad, or is it something else? Kind of identifying who you are or what you want to do. Are you a remote worker, or are you just trying to be traveling around countries? Would you say that's the first step, or is it something else?
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
I'll tell you my perspective, and I can speak only for myself, right? I think a lot of it stems from the fact that you're not happy with where you are, where you stay. Because for me, it was like I wasn't happy with the city that I lived in, or the traffic, or the pollution, or whatever it could be, right? Or you're just not happy with your social circle, you're not happy with circumstances that you have. And there's this feeling of wanting to go out, probably more like a cry for help, like more like an escapism, to be honest. For me, it was an escape, for sure. You know, I don't think it's a bad thing. To know that you want to run away from something is probably a good thing as well, because otherwise you're always trapped. So a lot of people I know who call themselves digital nomads, or even if they're working from a different place, a lot of people escape their existing condition, and then they go to a particular place, which it could be anything. It could be Bali, it could be Goa in India, it could be Chiang Mai in Thailand, it could be anywhere. You know. But I think it starts from the fact that you're not happy with where you are. Okay, forget the work. It doesn't matter. It's just your personal well-being in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then that's how I pick it, right? I didn't pick my career, I didn't pick my work. I picked the place. And then I found out what's the best thing I can do in this particular place. So I live in a place called Dharamshala, which is in the mountains. And the biggest industry in the mountains in India is tourism. So it just made sense for me to get into the tourism business. Let's presume it was a co-working hub. I would have probably been in the co-working business then, because that's the easiest, that's the lowest hanging fruit, right? And that's the easiest thing to get into. So tourism was that for me. And then I just built my career on that. So that's how I started off. And I think a lot of people today who have this skill set, like she said very correctly, nomad technically means someone who keeps traveling from one place to another place. They're not necessarily with a base. That's how the tribes were back in the day, right? You know, especially even today, I think there are a lot of people who travel from one place to another place because they don't have the resources, depending on weather or the climate. Okay. So that's nomad, and then digital is as simple as it is. You know, it's through a computer. You have your internet, and if you have the correct resources, and when I say resources, I mean the kind of work that you need to work from anywhere. Anything is possible. For me, it's the place, it's not the work. That's how I
It's
look
a
at it.
great insight. Yeah, sleeping where you are currently.
Yeah, for me it's the place. That's what makes the most amount of. That's the crux. Everything around it, everything else revolves around that.
Wow.
Yeah, I would add escaping, that's one, but also maybe searching for more. So it's like you don't want to escape necessarily the reality because it's good. That was my opinion on my life. I was like, it's good. It's like so comfortable. But then I started like a little. I went, just like I mentioned you before, I went to South Africa for 3 months working remotely from there, and I was like, oh, that's awesome! Like I can do this and meet new people and explore. And at home I'm only speaking Polish. That's my originally like my mother tongue. And yeah.
That's cool.
And I was like, okay, so I can do that, and I have so many new opportunities, new experiences. So that was not necessarily escapism, but a need for more. And like I opened one door and I noticed that I can open more. So that was my perspective. But it wasn't true. Because you said that you started a company, so for you was not, I want to be a digital nomad. It was like natural. It just came with your choices.
Yeah, so there's, from what Raul, you were saying there, you running away, and there's two things we do in life. There's run towards or run from, right? So you run towards something, you're goal orientated, you want to achieve this, and then there's also the run away from, and those two combined can be extremely powerful. Mine started on the run to, and that was, I want to run a coaching business that's the best in the world, that helps people maintain healthy high performance without burning out, because I was I'm a very high performer with a very good track record of burning out. So healthy high performance is what I've been striving for, and I was running to that, but at the same time I realised I was running from my corporate life, because the corporate life was a ladder that I'd gone up and being successful, but really realised it wasn't for me. And no matter how I tried to ignore it, the universe wouldn't let that go. It said, you're put on this planet to do this. And as much as I ignored it and tried to move up and say the next level will be fine and then this will be okay. Like I've worked for 4 of the big 4. So the big 4 companies in consulting at KPMG, EY, Deloitte and PwC, I've worked for all 4. So I started in London with EY, and then I thought this isn't what I thought it was going to be, so I left and I went to KPMG. It'll be better then. No, it was the same shit, different day, right? So then I left KPMG in London, and then I rejoined EY in Australia. And I was like, Australia would be different.
Yeah.
Nah, same. Then I left EY, went to Deloitte, and then I went from Deloitte, worked on a contract with PwC, and I moved over to Paris. Then I went to Southeast Asia. It was all the kind of same thing. So I didn't have any at all aspirations of being a digital nomad. I worked remotely sometimes with my role as in corporate, because I'd travel a lot. So I'd be in a hotel, or I'd be on an aeroplane, or I'd be in an airport, and I'd be on my laptop. So, you know, I'm a digital nomad. If I've got my laptop and I can work where I want. So I didn't choose that way of life, of what we call a digital nomad is. I went with, I'm setting up a business and I'm going to do that. I'm going to be of service. I'm going to help people across the world. And we're going to have an awesome team. We're going to have fun. And we're going to make a difference. And it just so happens, environments like this help me do that.
It basically chose you. You're the chosen one.
I am the chosen one, yes.
Well, that's amazing to hear.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But does the change of location come from the disappointment of the place or the work? Or not disappointment is probably the wrong word, but dissatisfaction maybe.
The place. So I suppose that I've had, I'm getting deep now, but when I was younger, my father passed away when I was 15, and he was 38, and through my life, I always thought, for whatever reason, something was etched into my head, I wouldn't live past 38, right? So I just had to do everything and push it all in and learn a different language, travel this place, do all of these things and try to do all of these different things. So I wasn't really driven by going somewhere for any other reason apart from I want to make the most of this life while I'm here. And Bali I like yoga, so Bali has yoga, has Wi-Fi, has good food, and the weather's not too bad. Okay, go to Bali, right? So Costa Rica is another place I'm looking at the moment because I can, right? But my base is currently Southeast Asia. But the changing of location isn't really driven by dissatisfaction of where I currently am. It's more of a drive to see as much as I can and make the most of life on any given day. And in my mind, it's if there's a country I haven't been to, and I can work there and go on holiday there, then I will. And I did that with my corporate career. So I traveled and went on projects and did certain things. And I was very much like a digital nomad in the corporate world, because I'd go and work on a project in a certain country and I'd be in a hotel, but then in an office, so it wouldn't be a co-working space. So it's always sort of been in me. So the drive, in summary, isn't a drive running away from where I am. I've got a house in London, I've got a house in Brisbane, and I've got an apartment in KL, right? I love each one of those places, and I just like traveling.
That's a great transition, guys. Because escape, looking for more, like higher calling, purpose in life. Let's say you had that first signal to you, right? Okay, go try something out, digital nomad. And Adrien, you said, okay, you picked Bali because of the Wi-Fi and these different things. So is that the next step? Is the country that you want to go to, or is it something else?
In terms of infrastructure, is that really like Wi-Fi and places where you can work?
Yeah, as maybe those are the factors that you consider to move somewhere, right? Let's say somebody now sitting in another country, they're thinking this exact thing, like, oh, I want to escape, I want to be a digital nomad. So from where do you get started? Is it from researching the countries itself, or writing down, for example, the important things to you, and then seeing which country suits your needs?
I'd take a step back before you did that, and I'd be interested to get your guys' views, which is, before you go, which country's got this, or Georgia's got this visa, and it's got this Wi-Fi, and you could do all of these things. You take a step back and ask yourself, why do you want to do this, right? Because wherever you go,
There you are.
there you are, right? So wherever you go, there you are. So if you're running away from yourself, you can pick any country in the world, right? You'll turn up.
Still running away.
You're there, right? So you've got to deal with your shit wherever you are, because you'll just take it, yeah? And again, I think we can speak from experience. Like, I know I've gone to different countries, oh, it's great there, and I'm like, I'm still the same person, and I realise that there's something, I'm not running away from anyone or anything, it's just me, right? So I think you need to sort of ask yourself why, because yesterday we were having a conversation, and I think it was with Emma saying, oh, I'm heading back to Paris, and there's been so many changes when you travel, and then you go back to maybe where your home is, and like time stood still. And then the fear there then was, okay, well, will I reintegrate into that kind of stuff? So sometimes you're going to go back to where you were, probably your home or whatever you call it, but you probably won't be the same person. That's a long-winded way of saying, before you go on a journey, whatever the journey is, it doesn't even have to be a digital nomad journey, you ask yourself why, you're doing it for the right reasons, I suppose. When you are looking for a place, like a country, absolutely, I think you're looking at it. I think the top things are, what's the visa? Yeah, you got to say, what's the visa? How hard is it to get in? And how quickly can they turn it around? And I think this is a massive opportunity for countries globally, and you're seeing that now. So I mentioned Georgia earlier. So Georgia have got a 365-day visa. You can go to Georgia and spend a year there, okay? That's fantastic for their country. They can bring in money from overseas that necessarily wouldn't be there. You've got people coming in with business ideas and sharing different thoughts, and there's innovation. So this is awesome, right? So where would you prefer to go? London, where it will you'll have an amazing community, but it'll cost you an absolute fortune to be there. So you've got lots of different. Costa Rica is another one. You've got Lisbon. You've obviously got Southeast Asia and predominantly sort of Chiang Mai, Bangkok, around Thailand. You've got Vietnam, Da Nang. You've got Hue, Ubud, and Canggu. So visa, cost of living, and infrastructure. I think are the three things.